I have a bit of a mess going on right now. I want to try and bring this up on my iPad so I can get the chat there. So give me just a second while I get that up. I am in the process of building modular terrain boards for wargames and tabletop RPGs. I picked up a bunch of these 12 by 12 wooden boards from Amazon. Like I got a pack of them for about $35, and I've been flavoring them up with some mud and in some cases grass. And for the first time, I started using one of those hot knives that cuts through styrofoam, which that worked really easy, a lot easier than I thought it would. All right, let me see if my live stream is up here. See my channel. I don't want that. Okay, how do I bring up my chat? There we go. The live stream is up here. Oh, I don't want to hear it though. All right, and all right. I have the chat now. All right, I think that's going. So right now I'm covering a few of these in additional mud. This one's going to be all water. I have a couple of them that are going to be shorelines. I have this water wheel tile here, this water wheel MDF piece that I'm setting on one of them, and this little pond is going to be leaking into it. There's about 8 more of these outside right now drying in the sun. I'll start bringing those in slowly and see how their progress is coming. Once this mud dries, I'll go through and start putting tissue paper and some of the liquid. I don't even know what it's called. Let's see. Realistic water. I also picked this up off Amazon. I have one of these bottles I got from my local game store, and I'm going to compare the two of them just to get a sense of how they each work. I've used the liquid water a couple times on smaller bases, but never something this big. So this will be new. I'm not sure how it's going to go with such a big surface, but I have seen some videos on YouTube where people essentially explain how to do it with tissue paper. So I'm going to have to go back through that tutorial process because I want it to kind of be still water in most places, but towards the area where this water wheel goes, I want it to be kind of like starting to turn into a little bit of a rapids or just, disturbed water. But this tile of water, I plan on using this modular terrain set on it, and I want to make a bunch of like little docks and piers that are also modular, so we can pull them in and pull them out. I think it's really fun to have areas in a war game where you can walk and areas where like you get like diminished movement or something. So yeah, having water with catwalks, that's very fun. And also, like in some war games, you have the ability to move enemy units and push them in ways. So I think shoving people into the water is fun. All right, I think this one's ready to start drying. All right, set you over there for a minute. I picked up a bunch of these clamps. They have been so helpful. These from Home Depot, just regular wood clamps. When putting together like the MDF terrain, it's so useful with these things, just kind of clamping them down, keeping them together. So I have a few of these tiles that are going to be cliffside, and this one is basically like a cliff that goes into the town up top on the hill. So there's a few different modular tiles that'll be going together, and this is like a central one. So these will line up on top, and I'm going to take a bunch of little stone mosaic pieces and lay them out and put some roads between them. All right, let's get this one muddy now. I initially was trying to do this with a brush. It's just so much easier with my hand. The problem is this mud is really gritty, so it starts to get irritating, and that's why I actually had to just put my hand in and use all my fingers together. Like one of my fingers alone was just getting kind of raw from it. So I've already covered all of these in Mod Podge. This is hopefully going to add a layer of like more, so it's going to hopefully this makes it more solid. So I am worried about this thing staying foamy, because if it has that dip in it, it might be difficult for me to build things onto it. So we will see if this does. This is my first time building these kind of modular terrain tiles. I've not done this before, so this might go poorly. The main game I'm making these for is Warcrow, but I figured even if we don't stick with Warcrow, or we try other war games in the future or something, these kind of terrain tiles can be used for any war games that are fantasy. They can be used for tabletop RPGs. So I think in the end, I probably would like to have maybe 20 or 30 of these different tiles that are modular. I can just, stick in the background area, like, and stack them up on a shelf or something. Because I've gotten a bunch of like those game mats where you take the mat and you just put a bunch of scatter terrain on it, and I like those. They work fairly well for just getting terrain into a game, war games or tabletop RPGs. But oftentimes it's a very static looking environment. Even with like nice scatter terrain, it still feels flat and a little bit gamey. So my hope was that these would add some level of verisimilitude. That's the word we're all trying to seek with these games, I think. So, all right. That's pretty good. Okay. Stay right there. All right, I have Mod Podge in this cup here. I'm going to get this up on the sides, a little more caked in, and then I'm going to take this outside to go sit in the sun. The next one I'm going to be working on is that road. I have a bunch of different ideas for trying to get the cobblestone effect for the pathway, for the walkway. That road tile is another one that's modular, so there's a few different areas where that tile can line up. But I still, I just want to get like a kind of a cobblestone road look on it. Get this Mod Podge all the way down in the cracks. All right. I'm gonna take this one outside. I'll be right back. These are some of the other ones. These are actually drying pretty nice now. This is, so this one will line up against that other one. This is a shoreline here. I'm gonna add a little bit more of this mud onto it just to fill in some of these empty spots. I ordered this big carpet of green here. I got this off Amazon. It was a big old roll. I want to say it was about $20. It was 12 inches by, I think, 60 inches. So it's actually been able to cover a bunch of these tiles. I have a few more outside that have some of the grass on them. And I just glued it down with the Mod Podge. I took some of this spare grass that I have and kind of just tucked it into some little spots where some of the grass was thin. And on most of these boards, I drew out some kind of environment that I wanted, like either the road or this water line, and then I just used an X-Acto knife and cut the stuff. But it's actually drying pretty nice. So the main thing I was concerned about was these things peeling up. So it's not all the way dried down, and I might have to take another go with Mod Podge on it, just to make sure that they don't come up when people are playing on them. Yeah, I'll have to figure that out. I am a little concerned that the Mod Podge is not sticking it well enough. But I looked up Mod Podge dry times, and it says it's going to take 24 hours. Some of this was applied yesterday, and some of this was applied this morning. So, I'm just hoping that it actually solidifies, especially out in the fresh air. I'm gonna put this back outside, and I'll be right back. All right, so I have one more big city tile. So this one, yeah, I think I'm gonna hit this one with some of the mud and try and make it as flat as possible. My goal with this kind of city tile area is to make a place where I can put like a modular building. I can just take some sort of MDF building and stick it here, but I want crossroad areas where there's actually like cobblestone path for, like, you know, either shop fronts or something. So I'm gonna get this one with some of the mud and then set it out there to dry. My goal is to keep it as smooth, like flat as possible, so that I don't have any bumpy areas. Because what I'm going to end up doing with this, I picked up at Hobby Lobby a bunch of these mosaic tiles. They were on sale for 79 cents. They're normally like $8 or whatever. And they look like this. They're kind of like rock, like chunks of granite. So I'm just gonna take them and glue them on here with the Mod Podge and just make a flat, rocky area so it looks like hewn stone, and put it out in a pattern, and then put like roads between it, and then this would be the area where you put buildings. Like I set buildings on top of it. So I just want this layer of the mud on here just to make it hard. And I'm going to end up finding out whether or not you can put this on the styrofoam, sort of through trial and error, because I don't know how this is going to go. Like, I don't know if, because the styrofoam still has a little bit of give in the surface tension. And I don't know if that's going to be resolved. Like, I already coated this in Mod Podge. I put a pretty significant slathering of Mod Podge on it. But I'm hoping that this this diorama dirt hardens the surface of it. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. And I might find that did not happen, and then I got a new problem. That's pretty good. Probably have to take a couple sanding sticks to the edges of these things because I'm going to need them to sit flush up against each other. I don't want to have big cracks between them. So there's a few spots where the mud is kind of seeped down. All right, and then same thing. I'm gonna coat it on the sides with the Mod Podge just to keep the. I am also worried about the styrofoam coming up off of the boards. I don't want that for sure. So I'm gonna get a extra coating of Mod Podge down here into some of the cracks and edges. Yeah, there we go. Get it all in there. Yeah, bring this a little closer. This painter's brush works really well with this. I was trying to use like crafting brushes for a long time, and it's just like, that just takes forever. So I picked up these just painter brushes from Home Depot, and this sort of terrain work goes a lot faster with this. All right, like a beautiful muddy birthday cake. I'm gonna set this one outside to dry, along with this water tile. I'll be right back, and then we'll get started on that road making a cobblestone walkway. All right, so this might be difficult to make with my hands so dirty. I'm probably gonna have to wash my hand off. I don't want to. Yeah, I'm gonna wash my hands real quick. I don't want to get the mud in this grass area because I want the grass area to be places where I can actually set some. I made a few modular tiles like this one here, something that I can basically set here all along this road. And there's a few other things I'll be able to set as like scatter terrain here. So I don't want this to be muddy. I want it to be like just actual grass. But this, for example, will be a tile that I will cover in some trees. My wife had a bunch of these extra Christmas displays. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into one of these things and cut all these pine needles down, probably about like 3 inches each, so that we just get kind of like a normal looking pine tree out of this. And I'll take those and bore them down into this styrofoam and then coat them. I might need to stick something underneath it to actually ground them a bit better because I don't want them like falling out. I want them to be pretty secure, which I'll have to figure that out. Anyways, this will be like a roadway, but hopefully with different scatter terrain pieces, I can actually put them up here. And so if I get this all muddy, that doesn't help. So I'm gonna go wash my hands real quick, rinse them off. I'll be right back. You make all things work together for my future and for my good. There's a healing light just beyond clouds. Though I walk through fire, I see clearly now. All right. So I had a few different ideas for this. Hang on. There we go. There's the good lid. All right, I had a few different ideas for this cobblestone walkway, and I'm not sure which one I'm going to go with, but like whatever I end up choosing right now, I'm probably going to stick with for the next few pathways I make. So I have these mosaic tiles, and I could smash them up into smaller chunks to make walkways, but I know that they're probably going to shard, and I don't really want that. But I also ordered on Amazon these tiles. These are much smaller, and they have like the look of kind of carved stone. I have two different shapes of them. There's rectangular ones, and then there's square ones. So I think what I'm going to do is actually do a mishmashing of squares and rectangles, kind of going from this direction outwards, and I'm going to use some of this dry ground to kind of solidify it in there, and then I'll Mod Podge over the top afterwards just to kind of get the area sealed. So I think that's what I'm going to go with, and we'll see how it works. Let me get this in a little closer so you can actually see it getting put together. All right. And I might want a chair for this. Yeah, I end up picking up a bunch of these from Hobby Lobby, these mosaic pieces, because, well, again, they were like 80 cents for this, like, great stone-looking stuff. And if nothing else, I'll use them for like ruins, just to kind of shadow them up a bit and make like some stonework ruins. Or I could cover the outside of a tower, something like that. I have a bunch of different thoughts on things I could actually use those for. All right. So we want to get some of this dry ground stuff on here. This area at this end is going to be coming in towards the beach. So it's not going to actually have beach on it, but I want to leave some spots for one of these piers to come up onto it. I might be able to actually just put the stonework all the way. You know, I'm just going to probably put the stonework all the way down to the edge. So let's get this one. Let's see. This is my good mud brush. It's a little dirty with mud still. This is my first paintbrush that I started painting models with. I got it in one of those starter boxes from the game store. It was like D&D paints. And I really love this brush. Is why I keep it for now, like terrain work and model crafting and stuff. I'm going to go rinse this off real quick. All right. So I think I'm going to start with a little bit of this mud and get it down onto here. I'm thinking maybe a layer of the Mod Podge, just real thin. And we'll see if that helps it stick to the board. I know that I'm going to need to take a bunch of this grass and kind of pile it up here as some edges just to kind of keep things even. But I'll do that after we get some of the stonework done. I haven't used this dry ground one before. I've used a lot of the dark earth, and I rather like how it dries. I don't know what this stuff is going to look like when it dries. I mean, usually the picture on the surface of it is an indication. Oh yeah, that's weird looking. Okay. All right, so I don't want to waste any of this. This is precious. We want to get that stirred up a bit. A lot of the good stuff, the kind of the thick, yolky stuff is at the bottom. And I usually just take this handle and I stick it in there. This whole brush is going to get covered by the time I'm done. There we go. This one looks kind of oily. All right. Get you out of here. So. All right, let's get this bag of stones opened up. Okay, I have the rectangular stones and the square stones. And I don't think I want to get into a meticulous pattern because then I will probably stick with it and then I will regret having done that. But there will be a bit of uniformity to it at first because I'm gonna have to go back and dry brush this when it's all done setting in, because I don't like the look of this just being, you know, solid one color gray. That's it's a little too uniform. Okay, let's get a nice dabbing of this. Again, I'll probably have to sand off the edges when I'm done because a bunch of this stuff starts to set in over the edge. And once I get this in, I will take a brush with the Mod Podge and put it over it. With each of these, I'm going to take a little bit of space between them and then kind of smush them together so that there gets to be some of this goop between it. All right, let's see. I might have to use the dark earth because this stuff is a little bit runnier. I wanted the look of the stone with the light earth, but I can always dry brush in the light earth or paint it afterwards. This stuff is a little bit runny, so I'm not sure if it's gonna work as well as I had hoped. See if I might have to actually break. Yep, there we go. I was gonna say I have to break a couple of these. Fortunately, they just snap right in half. Ooh, that's an idea. Let's take some of this and dab it on the back like glue. I'm gonna switch to the dark earth. It's a little creamier. You know what? Actually, let's mix the two together a bit. See if we can get this to not be as runny. Yeah, that's a little better. It being viscous will probably be easier to get the stones to kind of coagulate into. Fortunately, I'm coming to the end of this one, so I don't really mind mixing the two of them together by the dirty brush going in. All right, I'm gonna take these stones off that I just started because I don't want it to be as runny as it is right now, and I want there to be a nice viscous mud to stick these stones into. There we go. That's a lot better. All right, let's start over with that. I'm going to keep going straight in with them. Let's just take one of these stones and stick it around there. Some mud on the back side of it. There we go. Yeah, that's actually, I think that's sticking a little better. I might want to break a few more of these. I think I want to break one of these big ones. Let's see if I can get it to, yeah. All right, I might need to get my pliers out for this. All right. Don't know if these are gonna shatter. Yeah, it kind of shattered. That's pretty good though. There we go. That's sort of the shape I was looking for. Other way around. Let me get some more mud on that though. Where'd my other one go? Just drop the other shattered one. This one will do. Once I get a few of these in place, it'll be easier for me to get a flow going. Right now it's harder because I'm trying to get the edge pieces. And since the path is coming in sort of an angle, but I don't want the bricks to be hanging off the edge, it means I have to find like very specific ones, or I got to keep cutting these. I'm gonna try and make a cut on you. Oh, that broke real easy. Okay, perfect. All right. There's a healing light just beyond the clouds. Though I walk through fire, I see clearly now. I know nothing has been wasted. Okay. Okay. Nearly, just pretty much accidentally, I think I made this path close to the perfect width. I'm going to get a nice row of these stones going across. And I might want to take some of these and put them up on the edge like a little wall, but no, probably not. Maybe I'll just use gravel stones. I have some of those too. Okay. You need to stay down. There we go, that's easy. Every time I use my fingers to try and push these down, they end up getting stuck to my fingers. So using the paintbrush end is actually, it's a lot easier. I might get a little tripod here and bring you in closer so you can actually see what I'm doing. All right, let's see. Keep trying to avoid getting mud everywhere. There's almost no reason to try to avoid it. All right. All right, let's see how that works. Need some kind of I'm going to get a dry brush. Kind of brush the mud off of some of these. There we go. I do want it to look like a stone road. I don't want it to look like a dirt road. So I want to make sure there's some grooves between these. All right. Well, this is definitely more difficult than I thought it would be. Trying to get these things in there and in a stone shape. Let me see. I might have to actually plot this out a little bit so that I don't end up getting all of them completely muddy as I'm taking them on. This is also the problem with this aspect of the terrain building. I've noticed, like, as I was getting the grass down, it was really hard to tell what it was going to look like when it was dry. And even right now, it's still not fully dry. So it is definitely difficult to figure out what this is going to look like or how it's going to be in the early stages. All right, let me think. I might just make a row of the squares and then a row of the rectangles, and maybe just keep doing that. Again, I don't know if I like the idea of it being so uniform. I kind of would prefer a little bit of a mess. Well, I now understand why people use those little roller things with with clay. It's probably a lot easier than trying to make this thing one stone at a time. But now that I've started this, I'm sort of determined to finish, even if this is not the most efficient way to make a stone path. I am curious to see how this turns out. And I mean, it might not be very good at all. I might, when I'm done with it, I might have to just tear this tile apart. We'll see. How was the store?
It was kind of crazy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, people doing all their Christmas things.
Holiday shopping?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was still less crowded than it would have been had I waited, so.
Okay.
Glad I waited.
On what?
Stack and paste.
Oh.
But the
Hello.
the backsplash stuff that you asked for, they didn't have the
Oh, the stone. They didn't have. Okay.
Yeah, they had stone looking, but it was more in strips of like rectangles. I took a picture in
Okay.
case you wanted to see it.
Spackle paste. Spackle paste. Maybe that's what I want to use for this. Okay. All right, a new idea. Let's take another section of this and let's see. All right, do I have a something like a spackle knife? Yep, that'll do. All right. Yeah, that one's all solid too. Huh. Well, we are kind of experimenting, so let's experiment away. Let me get this put into here. Whoops. Maybe we'll try spackle paste. Maybe some mix of these 3 different elements, the Mod Podge, the AK earthing stuff, and the spackle will formulate something that works for putting stonework into. If nothing else, I have learned that it is much easier to get one of those little rollers and just roll out some stone in clay, but well, maybe I'll find an easy way to do this so I can repeat the process in the future. All right, I have several tools now in front of me. Let's try and go at this side. Let's make an easy pattern, something I can replicate. This is actually sticking a little better in the spackle than it was just in the mud. I don't know if it's going to dry as well. I'll probably still have to take the Mod Podge over it. Okay, I need to kind of cram it in a little bit more. I want it to make 5 rows. All right, looks like I'm getting 4.5 rows. Okay, we'll try and make that work. All right, so I think the spackle is actually working a lot better than just the AK stuff was. The tiles are staying down a lot easier, and my hands aren't getting sticky from the mud. And there does seem to be, it's a little easier to kind of keep separations between the tiles. So thank you for picking that up. That seems to be working a little better than what I was doing.
Oh, good.
I'll have to see if on some of that when it dries if it actually works out better. But now I'm just going to keep going. So each time I take one of these stones, I scrape a little bit of this mud and spackle onto the bottom of it so that I kind of like smash it down in place. I'm going to take one of these broken pieces of the rectangles. Actually, I'm going to break out of the rectangle. My handy cutters are for. There we go. And there we go. There was a little hole between some of those rocks that was bothering me. All right. Never done mosaic work before. This is actually quite relaxing and enjoyable. Rather enjoying putting this path together. I'm going to add a little bit more mud to the mix right here in front and get it stirred in. I think I think this AK stuff dries a little more gluey. And now that all this mixture is kind of moving this way, each time I put a stone in, yeah, I want it to keep pushing. I take the stone and I set it down right at the edge, and then I push it that way, so all the mud kind of goops out underneath it. That seems to be making a nice little wave of muddy stucco. Have a sort of pattern going, and I don't want to have a pattern going because I just don't want it to look so evenly patterned. So I'm going to try and get that pattern not going. Probably going to need a small piece to fit in a little hole here. Well, maybe not. Oh, that's kind of working. All right, it's coming along. I would definitely say this is a slower way to do this than to get the clay and the rollers. I think the clay and the rollers is probably a lot quicker. It's probably a lot cheaper too. Buying these stones, you know, like this is a resource, and so is this stucco and all the mud and stuff. So doing the clay versions, yeah, I'm guessing it's probably cheaper and quicker. But this is fun. I'm enjoying putting this together and trying to figure out how to put it together. I mean, I might actually find that this doesn't work at all because maybe it just doesn't stay. Which, you know, yeah, that'll be a whole new problem. Okay, I got one stone back here that's loose. I'm going to stick a little bit more Mod Podge underneath it. Okay, there's a couple stones that are loose. Yeah, I think I'm definitely going to have to take a pouring of Mod Podge into into this and like sweep through it so it gets all between the cracks to hold them in place. Actually, maybe I'll just mix some in with this mud that's coming up right now. It'll be gluey stucco. Yeah, this stuff, okay, fortunately this is not drying yet. That is a concern. Stucco dries pretty quickly. Okay.
I'm going to pick up Riker. He gets out early today.
Okay.
So I'm going to go as to avoid all the crazy bombs.
Yeah, I'll see you soon.
All right.
Okay. Thank you for going grocery shopping. Love you too. See you soon. Hey, how's it going, TSL Frontman? Yeah, it's been a while since I have live streamed. I realize I need to actually make a scheduled time for it, and that's been the problem. Getting a consistent schedule. I don't know, things in the summertime were so crazy, and just haven't really figured out a consistent time that I'd be able to do it. But I know I need to. You can't just pop on live and expect it to have viewers and stuff. People come on and watch. You need to let people know ahead of time. So, but I figured I'm doing some hobby crafting stuff, and might as well get myself back into the flow of it, because there's also like an aspect of it where it's like once you don't do it for a while, like you get kind of nervous doing it, and that happens with me too. And I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna go live and look like an idiot or something. I'm gonna say stupid stuff. So this is just to try and get me calm about doing it, I guess. All right, I now have a very specific piece that I need. I'm gonna try and cut one of these squares in half. That sort of worked. Wait, I think I got it. Sort of have it. It's a little bit wide, but let's see if we can cram it in there. Yay! All right. Going to the salt mines, huh? Another day at the salt mines. Yeah, that's rough, man. If that is a claim that your life is difficult right now, I'm sorry to hear that. If that's just, hey, another day going, yeah, I get it. Salt mines are that thing that you go to in Pinocchio when you decide to go to Pleasure Island for too long. So that's kind of where I know the reference from. Riker is very strongly against the idea of going to the salt mines. All right. I think mixing the Mod Podge in with this clay is helping. So it's some kind of mix of Mod Podge, stucco, and the AK dirt that seems to be working best. Maybe I'll come up with some kind of solution for it. Go. I'm going to put some more Mod Podge down in front of me and stir it around. What you been working on, TSL? Still making game rules, or are you more focused on running games or playing games right now? Seems like most of the people in my Discord have all been either making their own tabletop RPGs or developing modules for them. Very, very creative community. All right, I need some more of the squares. Ugh. There we go, squares. You make all things work together for my future and for my good. So you've been too much life going on from. Okay. It's been too much life going on for many games, but you are finishing up a zine, patch, so you can play. Let's see, and 1993 D&D game I used to play on the tabletop, which has been fun. Interesting. So is the zine patch? Oh, I see. A zine patch you can play. Okay, so you're making a zine patch for a 1993 D&D game. What is the 1993 D&D game? I don't exactly know which module or which edition. Was that AD&D second edition? Or was that the start of third edition? I still think third edition is probably my favorite edition of D&D, and it might be because I started playing D&D in third edition. It might be because I like playing tabletop RPGs that have a way to build specific characters. I know it's a little more wargamey, kind of the way 5th edition is, but I don't know. If I'm going to be playing a D&D game, I would rather it be like 5th edition or 3rd edition than to have it be like Shadow Dark. Okay, need some more Mod Podge in here. This seems to be working. So I make a little soupy swamp of Mod Podge, stucco, and the AK mud. And then I just keep folding down the stones in front of me as I go. And yeah, it's kind of working out well. I'm trying to use this little broken piece right here. There we go. That actually fits nice. Great. Need another rectangle. Let's see. Very low budget, silly dungeon crawler made by some dude. Okay. Was this something you used to play in the 90s? when I'm all done with this, I think I'm going to put a little layer of the Mod Podge, and then I'm going to put a piece of wax paper over it, and then I'm going to get another piece of MDF board and clamp them together, because I want these to sit as flat as possible and be pressed in as they're drying. Let's see. Yeah, well, my folks got our first Pentium 1 with Windows 95. It was a game in a pack of like 200 games. Oh, okay, so we're talking like a video game. Interesting. Okay. I get you. Pentium 1. Man, that is old terminology. that's like yeah, that's like your grandparents went down to the soda fountain. You know, it's like very old lingo. What the heck are you talking about with that Pentium 1? I used to love getting those kind of demo discs for games. You know, that was a thing that, like, I think modern kids are never going to experience, and that's a total bummer, because it was so cool getting one of those demo discs that just had a ton of different games on it, and giving a bunch of games a try, or even like if it had like the full versions. I think the first version of Rise of the Triad, yeah, Rise of the Triad, that old 90s shooter, first version I had came on like one of those free demo discs. Whoops. Prime component for the blue screen of death. That's true. Roller Coaster Tycoon. I have not played a Tycoon game in forever. I always used to cheat on those games, though. I just get the sandbox thing and turn off all the time and weathering. Because really, I just wanted to make a roller coaster park, and I didn't want to, I didn't want to have to play the game. I just wanted to build, some kind of environment for roller coasters. Same thing with The Sims. Those games were interesting to me all the way up until the point that I had to, like, tell a little sim to eat. I was like, no, I don't care anymore. Okay, I'm gonna have to put some more. Got a few of these that are loose in here. More Mod Podge. And some more stucco. Yeah, trying to keep those Sims alive. Used to just like lock them in a room, take the ladder away from them on the pool. It was like, stop it. Oh, yes, I get it. You lit your house on fire. It's very sad. Okay. even after doing this for this whole tile, I still think I actually might do this in the future. I've been trying to think of, like, okay, do I get one of these roller things so I can put out, you know, like I can just do the clay version of this pathway. I don't know. This is a lot more work than making a clay thing. It's kind of enjoyable, though. I say kind of because I just don't know if this is going to work. Like, I don't know if this is going to be solid. You know, we're going to pick this thing up and all the stupid stones are going to fall. All the stones are going to fall off of it. So I might have to find some better way to make mortar for this. It does look organic. I agree with you. Yeah, it does have like a sort of natural look to it. I just want to make sure the stones stay. So, yeah, I think I'll take a thin brushing of Mod Podge over it, which I will start to do now. See, very thin. Not too goopy. Mostly I just want it to go down into the cracks. I think this brushing is also helping a bit because the Mod Podge will mostly dry clear, but this is also getting the mud off the surface. Yeah, if this does work, I think I want to build a bridge out of this stuff. I have a few components for a bridge with archways, and I think making like a bridge for a few of the different tiles where I have the river would be nice. Again, something modular. I like these things when I can set them up and put them in different configurations. That's so fun. This also satisfies my Lego desire. Like I'm, you know, anyone who's followed the channel for a while like knows that this used to be a Lego town, a big one, and not building Lego anymore means that kind of that compulsive desire to put things together in patterns with instructions, you know, it's kind of missing from my life now. All right, little too soupy in this area. I got to brush some of this back out of the way. And I think, yeah, I'm going to pull all these up. These are messy and not sticking down well. So, yeah, I think the mix that's working right now is the stucco combined with the Mod Podge combined with the AK stuff. That is if this stuff stays in place. And I'll give it a few hours before I actually start messing with it. I don't want to sabotage it before I've given it enough time to dry. Let's see, let me get some more stucco in here. And some more Mod Podge. So, TSL, how come your life's been too busy for tabletop RPGs? Why no campaigns right now? I feel like there's got to be something more than just, you know, work got busy or something. It's like, you know, I mean, there's always a weekend day or something where you can get a campaign going. But I also do understand it is hard to get games running if you're like the forever DM or something. I do know that scheduling is like that's the reason why TTRPGs just don't work. See, been spending a lot of weekends at my dad's. He's got health problems that my brother and I are trying to keep on top of. All complicated and a little stressful, but family gets by. I'm sorry to hear that, man. Yeah, that's is your how is your dad doing? I guess would be my question. That's difficult. I guess it's nice that you live nearby enough that you're able to get over to see him. It's really good of you. Oh, right. And now I can feel the stucco drying on my hands. It gets that really drywall feel. It's so unpleasant. Okay. Need some more of this in here. I guess I'm going to find out if Mod Podge and stucco make good mortar. He got cancer around COVID, and he's in remission, but hasn't been the same since. Oh, sorry. I let it seen, however, the solo game. So when it's punishable, it means it's mass spreadable and mass terrible. Mass testable, sorry. He got cancer around COVID. He's been in remission, but hasn't been the same since. Very sad. We love him immensely. That's really good, man. Sorry to hear that about your dad. Right, almost done with this. Let's try and jam a few of these pieces back in. And some more Mod Podge over the surface. All right, these pieces on the very end here are actually staying a lot better than they did the last time I put the Mod Podge on. So I think that might be working. I have a tiny little crack here that's bothering me, and a couple little crack pieces in the middle. I'm okay with the ones in the middle, but this one on the edge, I want to get, this might work. Nice little sliver to jam in there. I'm going to glue it up real good, and then stick that down inside. There we go. That's kind of doing it. All right. I have about 20 more of these I'm going to put on, and then I'm going to, I think I'm going to leave the flora on the sides. I want to put a whole bunch of flora up on the sides along with some rock mounding, but I don't want to do that until I know that the road's going to stay. So I'm going to get the wax paper and stick that on with a piece of MDF and clamp them, and see if all that sticks together. I wonder if there's a effective practical spray-on glue for those sort of troubles. So I have that. It's this bottle here, super seal stuff. I got this from the game store. It's from a company called All Game Terrain, and it works really well when I'm trying to put like scatter. Let me think. Where's my salt and pepper shaker? There. So I got these from IKEA, and I put these little rocks and debris and stuff in it. And so you can just take this out and like tick, 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 tick. And then you spray this stuff and it kind of mists down on it. Yeah, you know, it actually might work for this road too. Let's give that a little sprinkling, and then we'll brush it in. Might also help me to get the dirt off the tiles. All right, I have a few more got to get in here. Gonna be a whole bunch of goop coming off the edge of this because it's full over here. All right, you should go ahead and start throwing up off the edge. one more. I think I might need another cracked piece to get this. It's hanging off just a bit. That's not going to work. All right, I need a cracked piece. Let's try and make another one. Actually, let's try one of these really dirty ones. I want it to be mostly missing a corner, actually. That might be perfect. That is almost perfect. Okay, I got a bunch of pieces hanging out over the edge, so I'm gonna have to trim a couple of them down, or maybe I can smash them in place. Okay, that's actually, okay, smash them in place is working a little bit. Smash them in place. Okay, nope, this one's still got to get cut. See if I can do it while it's still there. Yep, that worked. And that one will be okay. All right. I need one more. I need one more. Okay. Let's get some more of this spray here. And let's brush it. I want to get the Mod Podge to settle into these cracks a bit. And hopefully we still have a nice dirt look in between the cracks of the road. But I want to get most of the dirt off of the bricks themselves. I might actually not need to dry brush them if they keep some of this grime on them, like if they dry somewhat clear, but they keep some of this grime, I might be able to actually just get away without dry brushing them. I mean, dry brushing them is not that hard, but all right, those are moving just a little bit, so I'm gonna try not to be too compulsive and mess these all up before we actually get them to dry. Ooh, I have an idea. A nice sweepy piece of styrofoam. That might do it. Or a paper. No. Better yet, one of these spongy things. Where's my spongy things? Ah, there we go. A bunch of these. Let's get a small one. All right. Trying to absorb some of this up and let them be dry looking. Yeah, that's going well. for some reason, the rectangles have a slightly different color tone than the squares. And I hadn't noticed that. Either that or they're just responding to the dirt and stuff. They're like clearly lighter in color. Huh. All right, let me get some wax paper. Anything else we're gonna do to this? No, I think I'm just gonna put the wax paper over this with a little bit more of this glue. All right. Be right back. So I don't actually have proper wax paper, so I'm going to try and use foil, because I think that's going to be less sticky. All right. And it'll also let me some extra coverage here, because the main pressure I want is right here. There's actually a couple spots here on the side where this is bubbled up a little bit. Let's get some glue in there too. All right, and I have another board here somewhere. There you are. Okay. Now I'm just going to clamp these two down intensely. Again, these Home Depot clamps are super helpful. I don't want to do it so firm that I warp the wood though, so I'm going to try and get it directly over the road. All right, I'm gonna take this one outside, and then I have two other things to work on before I'm done for now. All right, so these are actually drying up pretty nice with just the Mod Podge on them. So I'm going to add mud to them while my hands are dirty. Try and be efficient with my hand washing. All right. This tile is going to be one of the upper town tiles, this plateau area, and then river down below. And this area here will have a spot where a bridge can go across. This tile is going to have a road going through it, and it's one of the tiles that can connect to either the road or to a lower bridge. I want to try and keep most of these as modular as possible while also having like unique landscape designs, because you know it's fine if you can always put this in one spot, but I think it's better if it has multiple ways that you can kind of configure it and have the geography still make sense. So I'm gonna make another pathway on this one. I don't think I'm actually gonna start it yet, but I have another cobblestone path to essentially to make through this open pass. Yeah, I think I need to do a little bit more work on the sides here to give this more of a layering cliff look. Like I want to actually get some of these pieces cut and glued into here so it actually looks more organic. Right now it's just like it's an even cut going across, but all right, I'm gonna let what I have here dry, and I got some painting to get to, but I'm gonna end the live stream there. This was mostly just a way for me to get back into it. Here, I'll tip this up. My hands are covered in mud. There, I think that's looking at me. So yeah, this was mostly just a way for me to get back into live streaming again. I haven't done it since I think summertime, and it's like there's not just nervousness, but a practicality of it. Sometimes it feels like live streaming is a waste of time if no one's here, or even if there's hundreds of people here, but I'm doing it vertically and like people are jumping in and out and they don't really know what's going on and they're not really part of the channel. I haven't figured out the live streaming largely, and that's because it's still kind of something new to me, and I'm trying to figure out how to do it, when to do it, schedule it, don't schedule it, right? Like all those things are something I'm trying to figure out. And being relatively amateur on YouTube means that I'm constantly listening to one YouTuber or another being like, this is how you do it, you should do it this way. And they don't always have the same consensus. And then on top of that, the way YouTube works seems to change year to year and month to month. So for the most part, this is like a way for me to try to connect with whoever is watching the videos on my channel, and also help me to be more comfortable while on camera. It's, I guess, a multifaceted purpose. So, all right, I'm gonna end it there and get myself washed up, and got a bunch of miniatures to paint. I'll get back to making more consistent content when I figure out the types or style of videos to make. I've enjoyed my wife asking me questions and trying to answer those questions. That was fun yesterday. She said she's going to keep doing that. So if you have a question or type of content you'd like to see from my channel, let me know. Comment on one of the videos and give me some direction you'd like me to go back into. I had someone mention to me that they wanted me to go back to looking at tabletop RPG books and give my take on them, and I'm not opposed to doing that. I don't want to really become like a review channel or necessarily even like a how-to, at least not how-to with regards to like all the different games. It's a whole different type of format. So, all right, I'm gonna stop rambling now and get back to get my hands clean. God bless you. Have a good day. Yep.